You know that moment someone asks what you've been up to. Just a normal question. Could be a friend. Could be your mom on the phone. Could be someone at a wedding you didn't really want to go to. And there's this tiny little pause before you answer. Half a second, maybe less. Most people wouldn't even notice it. But you notice it. Because in that half second, you're deciding whether to mention the thing, the project, the plan, the thing you've been working on quietly. And there's this part of you that wants to say it, really wants to. You can almost taste how it would feel to say it. And there's this other part, quieter, smaller, that goes, don't. Not yet. I want to sit with that for a bit, because I think most people get this backwards. The advice you hear is, don't tell people your goals because they'll discourage you. Crabs in a bucket and all that. And yeah, sure, that's part of it. Some people will discourage you. Some people will get a bit weird about it. That's real. That happens. But that's not the main thing. That's not why telling kills it. Here's what I've come to think after a lot of years of watching this in people and in myself. Mostly in myself. The reason telling kills it isn't because of what they say back to you. It's because of what you wanted from them in the first place. Think about that for a second. Why do you actually want to tell? Honest answer. You want to tell because telling feels almost the same as doing. There's this little hit you get when you say it out loud. I'm starting a business. I'm writing a book. I'm learning the guitar. I'm finally leaving him. Whatever it is, the sentence comes out of your mouth, and for a moment, you get to wear it. You get to be that person in the rise, the one who's doing the thing. And it's lovely. I'm not knocking it. We're social creatures. We want to be seen moving in the world. Of course we do. But what's actually happening, and this is the bit nobody talks about, what's actually happening is you're asking them to believe in something you don't believe in yet yourself. That's what the telling is. It's an ask. You're saying, please believe in this. Please tell me it's a good idea. Please look at me like I'm the person who's going to do it. Because I can't quite look at myself like that yet. And I need you to do it for me. And here's the trap. Because there's a trap either way. If they do believe in you, if they say, oh wow, that's brilliant, you're going to be amazing at that, you get the hit. And the hit feels so close to actually doing a thing that part of you quietly relaxes. Job done. You've been seen as the person. You don't really need to build the thing now. Because at the dinner, in the room, in their face, you already are the person. And if they don't believe in you, if they say, "Oh, are you sure? I mean, that sounds tough. I knew someone who tried that." Now their doubt is in the soil. Now every time you sit down to work on it, their face is in your head. Their little and you're not working on the project anymore. You're working against their doubt. The project isn't yours anymore. It's a thing you have to prove to them. Either way, the project stopped being yours the moment you opened your mouth. You handed it to them, and they planted something in it. And now whatever grows is partly theirs. I knew a fellow years ago, a lovely man, who was going to open a little shop. Nothing big, just books and coffee, I think it was. He talked about that shop for, must have been 4 years. Every time I saw him, the shop. He had the name picked out, the color of the walls. He could describe the smell of it. Everyone in his life knew about the shop. He never opened that shop. Never even got close. And I think he didn't quite realize it. But he'd already had the shop. He'd lived it in every conversation. He got the feeling of being a man who was going to open a shop. And that feeling, for him, was the price. He just didn't know. I'm not telling you that to be hard on him. I liked him very much. I think most of us do that with something though. So when people say, "Don't tell anyone," I think what they're really pointing at, they just haven't quite got the words for it, is that the work has to belong to you first, fully, before anyone else touches it. And silence, proper silence with the thing, that's not secrecy. People hear it as secrecy, like you're hiding something. You're not hiding. You're just letting it be yours. You're letting it be small and unsure and a bit ugly and not ready to be looked at yet. Because that's what it is at the start. Everything good is a bit ugly at the start. And if you show it before it can stand up, before you can stand up with it, they're going to see the ugly bit. And you're going to feel them seeing it. And that feeling is hard to come back from. Really hard. I've done it many times. And I've gotten the high from telling it, and the next day I don't feel like working on it as much anymore. So you keep it close. Not because you're ashamed, not because you don't trust them, just because this bit's only yours. And it has to stay only yours until it can be more than that. The other thing, and this is the bit I find hardest to explain, when you're not telling anyone, you stop performing the project. You just do it. There's no audience in your head. There's no, what will they think of this version? There's no, I should be further along by now because I told her 3 months ago. You're just there, with the work, and it gets weirdly quiet. And in that quiet, that's where the actual thing happens. That's where you do it for real, and not for the story of doing it. A lot of people have never been there, I think, where it's just them and the work, with no one watching, no one to report back to, no one waiting on an update. That's a strange place the first time, and it can feel a bit lonely, because suddenly there's no validation coming in from anywhere. You can't earn the little hit of someone saying, "That's exciting." You just have to sit there and do the boring bit. And the boring bit is most of it. Most of everything, really. But that loneliness, I'll tell you what that loneliness actually is. That's the sound of it being yours. That's what ownership feels like before you have anything to show. It feels like nothing. It feels like working in the dark. It feels like being the only person who knows what you're up to. And if you can say that, if you can be alone with it, properly alone, for long enough, something in you changes. You stop needing anyone else to believe, and you start believing yourself. Because there's no one else doing it for you. And then, this is the funny bit. By the time you have something to show, you don't really care if you show it. The need's gone out of it. You'll show it, sure, because it makes sense to, or because it's done, or because someone happened to ask. But you won't be hunting for their reaction anymore. You won't be checking their face, because you've already had the conversation you needed. And it was with yourself, quietly, in all those days when no one knew. And I think that's the real test. Not whether you can shock anyone with the results. That'll happen on its own if the work is any good. The real test is, did you let yourself be alone with it long enough that their reaction stopped mattering? Because when their reaction stops mattering, that's when the thing is actually yours. So the next time someone asks what you've been up to, and you feel that little pause, and there's that pull to mention it, just see if you can let the pause sit. Say something else. Say you've been busy. Say not much. Say you've been reading. It doesn't really matter what you say. Just let the thing stay yours for another week, another month, another year even, if that's what it needs. You're not hiding it. You're growing it. And one day, it'll be big enough to walk out the room on its own. And you'll be standing there, quiet, having done the work. Then no one will need to be told. They'll just see. So, I think that's it. That's all I wanted to say.